Hello, welcome back to Rygenix. In this video, we will continue our discussion on interface. In my last video, I discussed shortly about the advantages that interface provides us and discussed in detail how interface helps to build flexible and loosely coupled application. In this video, we will discuss about how interface helps in building a testable application. As I mentioned earlier, testability of your application has a lot more to do with good design, and interface helps you to create a design that supports testability. I will not discuss about what is unit testing in this video. I assume that you already know this. However, before looking into how interface helps in unit testing, let's quickly look at some of the advantages of unit testing. Hope you have heard this quote. A good project may well have more test code than production code. Actually, the time it takes to produce this test code is worth the effort. It finally ends up being much cheaper in long run. Let's quickly see three major advantages of unit testing. Unit test helps you to find bugs easily and early. As you know, with time your code base grows larger, and when a failure occurs, with proper unit testing it becomes easy to pinpoint the location of failure. Unit testing saves time and money. When you write unit tests, you catch bugs earlier. This enables you to fix bugs faster since the code you just wrote is still fresh in your mind, and fixing bugs faster always saves money. As you can see in this graph, the cost of fixing an issue increases exponentially as the software moves forward in the development cycle. Cost of fixing bugs during coding phase is 5x. However, the same bug, if it is caught in production, then it goes around 30x. Similarly, this graph tells you the return of investment from unit test. Unit tests might not give you any return of investment when you write them, but over the course of a year, the return of investment exponentially increases. Let's look at another benefit of unit testing, and I would say this is one of the most important benefits that unit testing provides. It helps in our refactoring and future enhancements of the application. It basically ensures that the code still functions properly after the base code changes with code refactoring. Eventually increases confidence of the developer in changing or maintaining code. I hope you understood the benefit of unit testing. Now let's flip to Visual Studio and write some codes to understand how interface helps in unit testing. I'm going to create a simple banking application with few classes. Let's create a console application. Now let's look at this diagram and understand what this application will do. This application will basically check if the given user is eligible to withdraw money from the bank or not. I have two business classes, authentication service and balance checker service. Both of these classes rely on data access class to perform their actions, such as checking if the user is valid or not, or is balance available for the given user. And our withdrawal service deals with these two business services and provides required information to the client program.cs class. Let's flip to Visual Studio and create our respective classes. Let's first create our data access class. This class has two methods, is user valid and is balance available. Basically the methods does some logging, does connection to the database, and checks if the user is valid and if the user has the required account balance. For now it is hard-coded. If the username is John, then it's a valid user. Similarly, by default I'm pretending that user has a sufficient balance, so it always returns true. Let's create our next class, balance checker service. This is one of our business service class. This instantiates our data access service and makes the appropriate calls to check balance availability. Let's create our authentication service as well. This class also creates an instance of our data access service and calls is user valid to check if the user is valid or not. If either username or password is empty, it throws an exception. Please note that these codes are just to demonstrate use of interfaces in unit testing. In real-time scenario, perhaps data access service would be a separate component and these business services would be a separate component, and perhaps you will have presentation layer for the UI part. Let's create our withdrawal service class which consumes these business services. Currently, we have one method in it. It checks whether the user is eligible to withdraw the given amount. It first checks whether the user is authenticated. If authentication fails, it throws an exception. If the user is valid, it returns true or false depending on the balance availability. Let's call this from our client program.cs. Now, let's take one of our class. Let's say withdrawal service. Do you see any problem here? This method has a code smell. Primarily in our context, it is not testable. The problem is, it has direct dependencies on authentication service and balance checker service. The operator new that you see here is the most horrible thing while writing unit testable code. Let's create a unit test project and try to write a test for withdrawal service. I assume that you have some knowledge about how to write unit tests, so I'll not be explaining them in this video. Let's create the project. Let's say I want to test this. If the user is not authenticated, it should throw an exception. Let's write our test method name. So what this test will do, given user detail when invalid user credential used, then throw exception. What type of exception this throws? It throws a normal base exception. So how do you set an expectation for exception? Expected exception, type of exception. We have to add the reference of our banking app. Let's add that. Let's create an object of our withdrawal service and call isEligible method. I would not like to pass anything as a username, account number and amount. Now if you see our data access service, the valid username is John. What I am passing here, I am passing empty string, which means it is invalid. So ideally, as per the input, this should return false and it should throw expected exception and test should pass. Let's go to Test Explorer. So we have a test here. Let's run it. Unfortunately, it fails. Let's put a debugger and check. So you can see here, it is basically throwing argument null exception. But what was our expectation? It should have thrown the base exception, which is from isEligible to withdraw method. But since in authentication service we have checked that if username is empty or null, it should throw argument null exception. So what is happening here? Basically we wanted to test this unit. However, our unit test is actually testing other components as well. And at times, if the components are complex, it becomes very difficult to write unit test. Moreover, this is not the intention of unit test also, that it should check other components. So basically while writing unit test, we don't want to bring in other real services. For instance, in our case, the real authentication service. Because these other services are bringing up a whole lot of database operations as well. And that's not good at all. Also, as mentioned earlier, the intention of unit test is to test a small portion of the application and verify its behavior independent from other parts. But as you can see here, the classes are not independent. Withdrawal class is closely dependent on authentication service as well as balance checker service. So they are quite coupled right now. Now the question is there a way that we can test this small unit of code without hitting the real services? With this design, definitely no, as we are using the concrete class implementations of the services. We can fix this using dependency inversion, putting an abstraction between dependencies. I will discuss about dependency inversion principle in later videos. For now, just understand that we have to bring in some kind of abstraction so that the real implementation can be swapped by some fake implementations. Now, as I have already discussed in my previous videos, we can bring in the abstraction using either interface or abstract class. If you have not watched my video on interfaces, polymorphism and abstract classes, then I would highly recommend you to watch those videos. Now let's create some abstraction using interface. Let's stop this. Let's create a couple of interface. Let's copy the method signature. Let's implement the interfaces in the respective classes. Let's go ahead and change our withdrawal service. We would not like to instantiate it here. Let's make it an interface. Let's receive this from outside. Let's go ahead and change our program.cs class. Let's pass the services from here. I hope the code is self-explanatory. I have just created two interfaces, iAuthentication service and iBalanceChecker service, and implemented them to the concrete classes. In our withdrawal service, instead of creating the object here, I have created the object outside and injected them here. Now with this small change, let's see how easily we can test out is eligible to withdraw method in isolation. Now let's go to our test class and make the necessary changes. Now since our withdrawal service takes interfaces, it can take anything that implements iAuthentication service and iBalanceChecker service. It means we can inject our fake classes to simulate the behavior of these services. Let's go ahead and create a fake implementation of iAuthentication service. Let's implement our iAuthentication service. So this is our fake authentication service. Why we have created a fake object here is because our withdrawal service class has dependencies like data access service, and we do not want to call the actual database while doing unit testing. Instead, what we have done here is we have simulated the behavior of our service by creating a fake lightweight object so that we can test the particular unit. So now the authenticate method will return what we wish to. It will never hit our real authentication service. The fake object that we have created here is completely similar to using a mock object using any mocking framework. If we use mocking framework, the framework creates a fake object on our behalf. Again, you can mock appropriately only an interface or a virtual method. Let's change our code and see if the unit test passes now. Now it needs authentication service. Let me create my fake authentication service. Let's pass this here. Now let's put a debugger and debug this. So we are instantiating fake authentication service with false. So is authenticated is false. It goes to BalanceChecker service and it injects both the services here. So remember, this is a fake service. Now it calls is eligible to withdraw. Now since this is our implementation, it will go to our class. It will not go to the real service. It goes to our fake authentication service and this is false. So it basically say it is not authenticated. Now it will throw the expected exception. It throws the exception. Let's press F5 and let's come here and check whether our test has passed or not. Yes, it has passed. So we have successfully tested. If the user is not authenticated, this method should throw base exception. Let's write one more test and wrap this up. For this test, let's use one of the mocking framework. There are a lot of mocking framework that you can use like mock, RhinoMock, Fake It Easy, NSubstitute, etc. For now, let's use NSubstitute. Let's install NSubstitute DLL from NuGet. I hope you know about NuGet. It is a Microsoft package manager. So we have our AND substitute DLL now. Let's go to our test. Now let's test this condition. Say whatever amount is passed here, this method should return true. It means is balance available should return true. Let's switch to our test class and write. Now in our first test we wanted iAuthentication service, but since we did not want it to instantiate the real business class, we have created a fake class. Even in this case, we would not like to call real balance checker service, so we have to create a fake balance checker service. But since we are using a mocking framework now, we can ask AND substitute to create a substitute instance for this type. Let's do that. Let's use the namespace. As I mentioned earlier, the mocking framework only works properly with interface and class members that are overridable. That's where the benefit of interface is. Let's set our expectation. Let's say user is authenticated. Let's assert it. Let's run the test. Let's check if it is passed or not. Yes, it is passed. I hope you have realized that how interface can help our methods to be tested in isolation. That's it for today. If you have not watched my other videos on interface, then I recommend you to watch those as well. Links are available in the description. I hope you guys found this video helpful. If it did, then please hit the like and subscribe button to see more such content. Thanks.